So with the Emilia Romagna Grand Prix just around the corner, it is time to get our predictions in once again for this weekend's Grand Prix. And remember, this is the series in which you guys, the audience, can get involved by following that link in the top line of the description. You will then be entered into the Audience Prediction Championship and you'll be asked a set of questions which we will go over just now. So let us jump on into my Emilia Romagna Grand Prix predictions. So by following that link in the top line of the description, you'll be asked a set of questions. You'll be asked for your top 5 for qualifying, your top 5 for the Grand Prix, the driver of the day at the end of the race, and then finally a bold encompassing statement for any portion of the weekend. Now, equally down in the description there is a full list of the rules that go along with this series, but the main ones are you are only able to make one submission to this link. Equally, I'll be accepting any submission all the way up until the start of qualifying. Now, this weekend is a sprint Grand Prix, so the top 5 for qualifying is the end result of the sprint race. And all of the submissions will end up closing before the start of this sprint race. So if you want to wait all the way until the end of practice 1, the qualifying on Friday, and practice 2 to make your predictions, then please do that. But like I said, a full list of all of the rules are down in the description as well. Now there is of course a scoring that goes along with this. You will receive 2 points for a driver in the correct position for your top 5, and then 1 point if the driver is in the top 5 but not in the correct position. Very similar point scoring is done for the race, however you'll receive 3 points for a driver in the correct position for the race, and again 1 point if they are in the incorrect position. Driver of the day, if it is correct, you will receive 2 bonus points, and then there are 3 levels of risk to the bold statement. Low risk statements will receive 2 points, medium risk statements 5, and high risk statements 10 bonus points. And equally new for this year, you will have an option to boost your score. You get 5 chances this year to boost your score, and this will double your entire season's tally. Once again, all of these questions are asked to you before the start of the sprint race, so you have to decide beforehand whether you want to boost your Grand Prix, and you get 5 of these chances this year. So please do make sure to get involved by following that link in the top line of the description, and I'll make sure to total up all of the results for my race review that comes out on Monday or Tuesday. But with all of that out of the way, let me jump on into my predictions and my entry into this weekend's Grand Prix. For qualifying and the end of the sprint race, I've gone for a victory for Charles Leclerc and pole position for the Grand Prix. And second place in the sprint race, I've gone for Max Verstappen, followed by Carlos Sainz, then Sergio Perez, and then Fernando Alonso in the sprint race to finish P5. Now personally, I am not a massive fan of the sprint races. We had 3 of them last year and they weren't particularly exciting. We only had a really decent one in Brazil, but that's only because Hamilton had a brand new powerful engine and he was able to breeze past everybody with no real challenge. And that was the only reason it was exciting, so potentially with these new cars it might be a little bit better, but I'm not expecting anything too fantastic. However, we do know that Fernando Alonso is rapid at starting Grand Prix, so I'm expecting him to qualify on Friday in the lower reaches of the top 10, but then to make up a lot of places in the sprints, and then finish in P5. Then as for the Ferraris and the Red Bulls, well, as long as the Red Bull can hold itself together, I think it's going to get to the end and compete quite nicely with the Ferrari, but those 2 teams are just in a league of their own. So from my qualifying top 5, we will now jump on into my race top 5, and I think it's going to be victory number 3 of the season for Charles Leclerc. He has looked untouchable so far this year. And P2, completing a 1-2 finish for Ferrari in Italy, it is Carlos Sainz, putting an end to a disastrous start to his season. And then completing the podium, I've gone for Fernando Alonso in the Alpine, then followed by Lewis Hamilton in P4 and George Russell in P5, the 2 Mercedes. Now I think Alonso is going to get a decent start from P5 after the sprint and just make up positions in the Grand Prix and just hold on to a solid podium position. I also think the Red Bull is just going to rattle itself to pieces and not finish this Grand Prix. They have had appalling reliability, only a 50% finishing record. Of the 6 entries that they have had, they've retired 3 times. That's awful. Their car is quick, like they have a solid car, it is just so fragile. It reminds me an awful lot of the 2012 McLaren where Hamilton lost the title due to reliability issues, like so many of them, in such a strong performing car when it finished a Grand Prix. It just never finished a race that often. And that's the sort of vibes that I'm getting from this Red Bull. Extremely quick, but very, very fragile. So I do think, unfortunately, in that case, that Red Bull are going to end up with a retirement, and the Mercedes, we know, are the 3rd/the 4th fastest car, so they're just going to be there to pick up the pieces, like they've done for the first 3 races, which is why they're still P2 in the Constructors' Championship, a long way off of Ferrari. With my driver of the day for the race, again going to Charles Leclerc, which I think will be his 4th driver of the day in 4 races. And then from my race top 5, let's take a look at my bold statement. I've gone for something high risk. Alpine will both finish in the top 5 and the top 10 come the end of the race. So they're going to get a double points finish. One of them will be in the top 5, as I think it's going to be Fernando Alonso to hopefully bag a podium, and then Esteban Ocon is also going to score points. So one Alpine in the top 5 and then the other in the top 10 for the race. And there we go, there are my entries into the Audience Prediction Championships for the Emilia Romagna Grand Prix. Please make sure to get involved using that link in the top line of the description to get your predictions submitted. If you do have any questions regarding this series, then please do let me know in the comments below. I'll be more than happy to answer those. And also a massive shout out goes to my 2 Patreon supporters, Sue Dawson and Elliot Crosson, for their continued support over there. If you feel like you want to support my channel financially, there are a few options like Patreon, channel memberships, and also a PayPal donation link. All of these options are down in the description below. Any form of financial support is greatly appreciated by myself, and you will receive a shout out at the end of the videos, so a big thank you again goes to Sue Dawson and Elliot Crosson. But that is all I've got for you today, guys. I hope you have enjoyed, and I will catch you in the next video with whatever and whenever I decide to make it. I'll see you guys then.